Okay, guys, welcome back to Let's Get Freaky podcast. Tonight, we are back in the Smoky Mountains with the Smokies Unforgotten Spirits. One of our returning guests, we've got Brooks with us tonight, and we've got a new member of the team with us tonight. We've got Josh with us as well. Nice to meet you, Josh. Guys, thank you for being here. And do you just want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah.
I didn't introduce you great. If you want to introduce yourselves, tell us a little bit about yourselves, and then we'll get into the freaky stuff.
Go ahead, Josh. I've been here a little bit.
Yeah, Brooks is well known.
I
Yeah.
don't even know how to start. Um, I don't even know how to start. I'm not good at this stuff.
That's
That's all right.
okay, man. No
I'll,
problem
I'll
at
I'll go
all.
for it. I'll go for it. I'm Brooks with the Smokies Unforgotten Spirits. One of the three owners. This is Josh, and one of our other three owners. Our other owner, Matt, who's usually on the thing, is now not here with us tonight. He's been a little bit busy with work. But we've been a team for about 2 or 3 years now, going to all these places and mostly keeping them in the national park and stuff like that. But uh, just kind of having experiences along the way and sharing them as we please.
Awesome, man. Brooks, you've been on the show. This is your fourth time now on
Fourth,
Let's
yes,
Get Freaky, and every time, man, it's like wow. You have a lot of experiences. But what I like about you as well, though, is you're still quite skeptical as well. Like you don't like me jump straight in like that's definitely paranormal. Like you still have a skeptical mind as well, which is quite important. But you've
yeah.
experienced a lot. I think the last one you was on was the Black Eyed Kids
That was
episodes,
the Black Eyed Kids episode, yes,
and that
which
freaked a lot of people out. I have to
that
say.
freaked me out.
I bet it did.
I don't. Oh, Josh,
those
were you
were
there for any
those
of
were
the?
interesting times.
Were you there
Yes,
for? Yes. So I was gonna say
yes.
I knew there was a
Uh,
few of them. I know you weren't there for one of them at least.
there was. I was at least there for the night that we had the lights going off around the school.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yep.
Man,
So it was that was kind of that was a wild night,
the Black Eyed
especially in that
Kids.
spot.
Yeah, man. The Black Eyed Kids seem to be to me are probably like one of the scariest things out there. They're just ghost spirits of kids are scary anyway. But then when you add the Black Eyed Kids part to it, man, it's just no. So
Yeah.
since we last spoke, have you how often have you guys been out? You've been out quite a lot. What's been going on, man?
Oh, we actually kind of slacked off a little bit. Like I said, Matt got a little bit busy with some work. He's kind of been changing jobs left and right. I'm still a roller coaster mechanic, so our off season happened, and we kind of had to work on the coaster when there was no one at the park. Do our annuals and stuff. And the same thing with Josh. He's not a coaster mechanic, but he works on the lift in the park. So it's the same kind of process, but he's more smarter than I am. So
Well, I don't know about that, but
way different beast than what I work on.
my I just climb heights and hang from a harness. So
Yeah. It looks like a
and
cool place, man, where you
Oh, it
guys
is.
work. I
It's
it's
def
pretty
definitely it's
neat.
pretty cool.
yeah. I need to get over there, man. It looks awesome.
Oh, the moment you get him over, we'll get you up there.
Yeah.
Oh
I know
yeah,
the guy who runs the lift.
Let's go.
yeah, yeah. We'll get you up there. We can get you up there.
So Josh, I'd like to sort of go to the start for you before we get into your recent um, uh, investigations that you've been on. Could you tell us a little bit about what got you into the paranormal and where your interest in the paranormal started?
Um, well, I guess it kind of started at a young age. We kind of before we kind of started, we kind of started talking about it, but the experiences at my own house started. I don't know. I was probably 11ish. Uh, I had the crown molding around the door get pulled off like a good inch. So uh, it was an interesting night. And then from the time it happened to about an hour later, I couldn't go near or as I would approach the door, it was like something was just there. It was a full on presence. I couldn't see anything, but I could feel it. I knew it was there. And it was almost like yeah, go ahead. Come on out the door. See what happens. So that kind of the stuff that I had happen here has kind of kick started my interest into the paranormal. Um, I was with another group for a very short time, um, and then I was kind of out of it for a while, and then I met Brooks through work, and then it just started all up again. We started talking about experiences, and he's like, "Oh, well, I have a paranormal group," and I was like, "Oh, that's awesome. Let's get into that some." So, and then here we are. So and all the experiences I've got to be a part of with him and the group. So,
Any regrets? Because I know
yeah,
Brooks,
that's kind of it. Yeah.
Brooks can bring some danger. Some of the things he's experienced,
What?
be,
No,
be it
no.
Hey,
being attacked, black-eyed
yeah.
kids, Bigfoot, you name it.
Uh, well, so I kind of bring the same kind of skepticism to the scenarios. So I kind of push some boundaries myself
Hmm.
just to get some, just to see some real proof.
Hmm.
Um, so it's it gets a little perilous at times, but it's all fun. It's all fun. We go home at the end of the night, so it's we didn't die or anything. So
Yeah. Yeah. Touch wood, knock on wood.
yeah, yeah,
So,
knock on wood. Yeah.
so when you was a kid and you had that experience when you felt that presence, did you have any idea what that was? Like, did you in your mind at that? I know you're young, you're 10 years old, but did you have any idea what it was?
Well, so I guess, well, I kind of left some stuff out. My dad was kind of into some paranormal and some different stuff, and growing up listening to his experiences, I was like, well, uh, there really couldn't have been anything else that could have caused that, um, especially for it to be nailed in, and it pulled pretty much all the net, almost a half an inch out, or an inch to a half an inch, and um, let's see, oh Lord, there's loads of there's loads of stuff I've had happen, but footsteps. We had a milk jug do a 360 just in the kitchen, just randomly. My kids were sitting at the kitchen table. Actually, I'm sitting here now, um, sitting here, and then just right across from me had a empty milk jug just kind of start turning and turning and turning, and then it would stop, and they kind of looked at it, and then it started up again. And it's just little random experiences like that. Now it's kind of chilled out from the aggressiveness that it originally was, but
Yeah.
it's I I don't I couldn't say it's spiritual of some sort, but I don't know, because at times it seems a lot more, um, what would be the word? Uh, Seems stronger, I could say. So it doesn't seem so just normal kind of
Mhm.
spiritual occurrences, if you would. But uh, I think at that time, even then, I knew, I was like, well, unsure of what exactly it is, but pretty sure spiritual nonetheless.
Hmm. Hmm.
So,
And it wasn't a nice entity. It wasn't getting a good vibe from this.
no, it was very kind of uh, just not evil, but just hateful, mean. Um, there was a very good time, or a good amount of time. I was just starting out in the electrical field, uh, and at the time I hadn't done any kind of cleansing or anything in the house at all. Uh, I had me and my wife sleeping in one of the kids' bedrooms now. Uh, I had months where I didn't sleep very well. I'd wake up tired, just like I didn't sleep at all. And then my wife would eventually tell me, like, "Oh yeah, do you remember waking up last night?" I'd be like, "No." She's like, you just shot up out of bed, just sat straight up, just out of nowhere. And I'm like, uh, what do you mean? I don't remember any of this. And there's tons that go with that. I'd have to ask her some more because I forgot all the stuff. But she said I've woke up like bawling my eyes out, just crying out of nowhere, and she'd have to console me to to get me back to sleep. And I don't remember any of this either. Um, Eventually, ran in, or a good buddy of mine lent me some really good sage, and I was able to cleanse the room. And from that point on, it was like completely different feeling. The room was like went from being kind of hostile to just bare. It just feeling nothing. It was an amazing feeling. The night that we actually were able to get it done.
Mhm.
And that was the best sleep I ever had. That night was the best sleep I ever had. So yeah, uh, there's some other kind of more hostile kind of chases me up the stairs. I've had multiple experiences where it kind of chases me up the stairs. I'll be down here, come down, grab a drink, or whatever, then be walking up the stairs, and then I just get the feeling. And then I've had of course, it's an older house, so the steps creak. Uh, Hear the steps creaking behind me, and I know it's certain steps you actually have to step on to make the noise. So it's like,
Mhm.
well, it's right behind me. It's kind of following me up the steps. So it's and it's weird too, because there's times that it's almost like it goes dormant, and
Mhm.
we don't have any experiences. Nothing happens. I don't have any feelings. Um, and then out of nowhere, just something random happens.
Yeah.
It kind of picks and chooses now. It's not as active as it used to be, which I'm kind of okay with. It can
Mhm.
it can keep its mischief elsewhere,
Yeah.
or at least on the other side of the house.
Yeah. Have you seen anything? Have you seen any like shadow figures or anything like that?
Not any figures. Uh, just just feelings of presence. I don't think I'm blessed enough to have the ability to see shadows. Um, I have had, well, I did have a random occurrence. I did see one in one scenario. Actually, it was the last. It was actually, I think it was the last time we went out. Uh, so that was kind of neat. That was cool. Brooks will can tell you a little better than I can, but uh, that was a really neat kind of thing.
Did you see it as well,
Uh,
Brooks?
If it's the same one I'm thinking of, there was a decent amount that I was it the one that was crossing the road. Yeah.
oh yeah, there was that one. Yeah, no, the one that was on the
Well,
stairs.
oh, yeah. I actually got video of
Yeah.
that. That was weird. Um, I forgot. I completely forgot all about that actually. So we'll get into it fully, but basically, Matt has bought a bunch of toys for us to play with. And one of those toys was some night vision IR like goggles almost, like binoculars, electronic, but you can zoom in. Has a little laser light on it, so you can see what you're looking at in the distance. And we're in the ghost town again, and with a few friends, Josh came, Matt came, and two of our hockey friends from a visiting team showed up. And I'm looking in, oh, and Kirsten and her daughter. I don't want to forget anybody, but we looking through the goggles and scanning through because we're hearing a lot of stuff. It's a weird night. It's one of those nights too where not a whole lot is happening in the town, like weather wise, but everywhere around us in the 20 mile, 10-mile radius is just getting ripped apart by like 70-mile-per-hour winds. But where we are isn't really getting hit. It does a little bit later. It gets a little stronger, but nothing like when we got there. But we're looking at the binoculars and we're just scanning. And on the one staircase, it looks like there's a person sitting on the front stoop of the stairs. And I said, it was like, hey Josh, come here, hey, Matt, come here, Kirsten, come here, Cass, come here, Ash, come here, everyone come here. And we're looking at this thing, and I'm like, is that a person or is it just blurry? Like, is it like the IR like making it the effect? And Josh is just like, well, I'm gonna go over there and look to see if if it's the boards making it look like a person or what. So I turn the laser on, I'm pointing and I'm wiggling it like where he needs to go. And he's walking up and he's looking, he's like, there's nothing here. And I'm like, we have radios. And I was like, Josh, you're right on top of him. Like he is like a foot in front of you. And he's like, I don't see anything. I said, I know you can't see him, but he's right in front of you. And uh I kind of panned away and Kirsten went over there. I think Ash and Cass started going over there. Matt's still with me. And they're like, just laser it again so we know where we're going. I said, yeah, yeah. So I picked it up and the thing's gone. It's just gone. And I was like, well, it's gone. So I mean, I'll laser where it was, but
Wow.
it's lasering it. They walk
Yeah.
over there, cool, whatnot. And they all walk away and I'm scanning through and it shows back up. And I was like, oh, he's back over there. Cool, awesome. Well, I would say at least 45 to an hour went by, and we're walking, and this place has like a bunch of like I don't know what to call them, like they're plaques, but they're not. They're like big information like slabs. They have pictures of what it used to look like versus what it looks now, and explanation of what you're looking at. So, but there's a picture of a guy sitting on that stoop, and I'm like, that's the guy in that picture. Well, I didn't see it originally. Cass and Ash found it, I believe, or was it you? I don't know if it was who it was.
Yeah, it was Cass and Ash that originally
Okay.
found it. Yeah.
Yeah, they found it and they're like, what does that look like to you? And I was like, oh, shit. Okay. And I called Matt, I called everyone over, we're all looking, and I took a picture of it. But I was like, that's crazy. And we looked for the rest of the night. He never showed back up. And that was kind of done. That
Wow.
part.
Yeah.
So he was sitting in
See,
like
we
the
were.
position.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no,
Oh,
you're
sorry,
good.
man.
We were at one point before we kind of started convening. Uh, I had sat in the exact spot where we had seen the person. Uh, and as I was sitting there, everybody had kind of walked away, and I think Brooks was still using the laser, and people were coming up or leaving or whatever the case may be. And I actually I had something breathe down my neck as I was sitting there, and I kind of felt something on my shoulder, like somebody had put their hand on my shoulder and was leaning down to real close to the back of my head. It was a kind of a wild experience. And then that was in the same spot. Cass actually had kind of a similar experience that kind of made her blood run cold. So
Wow.
that was a kind of a wild night.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
man.
was it was crazy. And we're not even like what that's just the first few things in that house, like what he was just saying, like Cass in that I'm pretty sure it was in that cabin. If not, it was the one next door. But in in this cabin, now, like I said earlier, like the wind was going crazy around us, but not really at us. There was one cabin, and it was the one I know for a fact it was the one next door. And like they have doors, they open, they close, cool. This one was slamming shut every what 15, 20 minutes,
Yeah,
10
sometimes
minutes.
shorter than that.
It
Sometimes
just
shorter than
happened
that.
randomly, but it seemed like the average was about 10, 15 minutes. Um, it would just slam shut from fully open to shut. And I was like, it's the wind. And I think I have like a 15-minute video on my phone, and it never did it when I was recording, obviously. Um, but it stayed open. I was like, is it the wind? It has to be the wind. And the wind would gust through, like a big gust would come through, and it would just go wiggle. And then it would go. I was like, that's what it should do because the wind's coming from the other side of the house, pushing it against the wall. I mean, maybe there is a vortex in the room, and it does, but it would slam shut. And then we would be halfway down the road, and we would all run back and play any game with us, I mean, just how it goes. But there was a big shatter, huge shatter, like glass breaking everywhere. And we're like, okay, cool. And in the past, there have been people who have ran up on us investigating there because it is a public area. Normally at night, there's not a whole lot of people there.
Hmm.
It does happen. Me and Josh have ran into a lot of people who are there for not great reasons, but no,
It does
that's
happen.
kind of why we have some sort of protection. But we heard the glass shatter, and we have a child with us. Like I'll call them a child. I think they're like 15, but we had a
Hmm.
child with us, minor. We're not taking any chances. The guns came out of the holster, and we kind of just like ran over there and was like, "Hey, who's over here? What's going on?" We walk into the cabin. There's glass everywhere. There's no sign of anybody. And I was like, "That's weird. Like, where did this even come from?" I forget what we said it was. It wasn't a plate. We thought it was a plate for the longest time, but I found another one in there was a like a cupboard,
It was
uh,
a light cover,
a
a
light cover.
glass, like a yeah,
Yeah, so it was a light cover, but there was another one in the cupboard, and I was like, oh, it's one of these, and it was in a different room, and it was just in the living room, shattered everywhere. So like, all right, we're gonna stay here for a little bit and start doing our stuff. And there's a cutout of a window that goes from the living room to the dining room, and then there's in the back there's like a little patio for the outside. But there's a little window, and Cass kind of climbed up into the window, kind of like propped herself up, sat into the window, and all of a sudden she falls. And I was like, you idiot, did you just fall out of the window? And she goes, no, something just pulled my hair. Something pulled my hair. And she goes, yes, I did fall out of the window, but something pulled her hair and it scared her. And she jumped back and kind of just fell out of the window. And, she didn't fall far, not even like 3 feet, but it was really funny. But like, she was just like, something touched me. Nope, not doing it.
So was this the same spot that you had the black-eyed kids encounter?
Uh, no. That
Okay,
was a little bit down the road.
okay, so not too far.
Not too far. I would say 10 miles, if that.
Okay, and it's a similar
yeah.
sort of like cabin in the woods.
Yeah, so these are cabins, and that was a schoolhouse.
Okay, yeah. Man, wow. So that figure you saw,
Yeah.
was it like a shadow?
It honestly looked like if I were looking at you and IR from down the block.
Oh, it was like a solid.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
now up like from head to maybe torso, like higher torso. It looks solid, but then it kind of just disappears into the stairs. So it could have been our eyes playing tricks on us, the way we were angled, but the fact that it kind of disappeared and we can clearly see what was behind it versus makes us think a little bit.
Hmm.
We're still
Hmm.
on the fence about it. I'll get you that video if I can find
Yeah,
it.
man. Yeah, I need to
But
see that.
um, it it just disappeared. But it was like full salt up top and then nothing at the bottom. But you could see it was a person,
Hmm.
like a silhouette. You can almost pick out details like of like clothes and such, like a collared shirt, maybe overalls,
It
and
definitely
no
some kind
hat.
of suspenders.
Yeah, it's suspenders. That's what I meant. Which
Man.
overalls is kind of the same, like the straps.
Yeah.
But no
Yeah.
hat. It looked kind of clean shaven. So,
Interesting, man. And
but
obviously,
also when I was recording this, I would say what 100 yards away, if that. So it was
Yeah.
the fact that I was able to see that much.
yeah, yeah. And then you saw the picture of the man.
Yeah, and it looked just like him.
Oh. And what was his connection to the cabins?
We don't know. It was just basically a picture of like, hey, this is what it used to look like.
Okay,
Uh,
yeah.
in the year 19, I forget what the exact year was, but it was like the 19 whatever. This was this house was for blah 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 blah. I have it somewhere, but I can't remember. My memory's awful.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I get that. Wow, though. Cool experience, guys. So
Oh
that's
yeah.
cool. What was the figure crossing the road?
Now that I don't know what it was because that's going to tie into some other things that I basically let you guess on what it is. We have our own guesses and we have our own speculations, but we've never had an encounter like that there. So we're kind of on the fence of what it was. Uh, I would say it was weird. So and it kind of correlated. So we were on, let's just say, the top side of the ghost town, and we heard a noise down at the other end of the ghost town. So we all, paranormal investigators. Oh, we heard a noise. Let's go. Run down there. Cool. Well, after doing that for the fifth, eighth time, some of us got tired of doing that. So we're at we all ran down. Noise happened up top, kind of where all of our equipment is, all of our trucks are, and everything. Everyone ran off, and I was like, I'm running back and forth for 30, 35 minutes now. I'm just gonna take my time. And I thought I heard something behind me, so I turned around and I saw, and this was still a good 50, 80 yards away. It was at least a 7 foot to maybe 7.5, 8 feet big figure just walks across the road that was maybe took 4 strides across the road, which it's not a very big road. It's just not like a normal, it's like a path, but 4 strides
It's like
went
a
across.
single
Yeah,
lane road. Like
one way definitely, but our trucks barely fit on it without hitting the grass on each side of it. So it's something, but boom, boom, boom. Saw it the whole time. Kind of went behind the bathhouse, which they have a bathhouse and then a big like a almost like a wedding venue that you can rent out for weddings and events there. But it kind of went behind there. I was like, that's weird. And I kind of mentioned to Matt, I said, hey, I'm seeing something. And he went 8 feet tall, big figure. And I was like, yeah. He goes, yeah, I saw it back here about 20 minutes ago, but I'm waiting for somebody else to see it so that way I don't make you see it. And then,
Interesting.
and it's funny, I'm wearing his hat right now. It's Steven Mundinger. He's a goalie for our hockey team. He is 6'9", big boy, big goalie. Love him to death. Great guy. Um, but Cass runs up to me. She goes, I swear I just saw Steven Mundinger cross that road over there. She goes, it was somebody like as tall as him because we all go when we're talking to him, we're all just looking straight
Yeah,
up at him.
that's a big dude.
Yeah, sweetheart, I love him to death. I call him the 9 foot Paul Blart. So anytime somebody makes fun of him because he has the big the mustache and everything, I say, you
Yeah,
leave
oh,
nine
I
foot Paul
love
Blart
that.
alone.
I love the hockey guys look, man, with the
Oh
mustache.
God. Oh
Oh,
God.
and
He's
the mullets and things like that. I love that.
we have a few of those
gotta
guys.
have the mullet.
I'm getting a
Yeah.
mullet. I'm working on mine. It's coming.
You'll fit right in over here.
Yeah, man. But you know what I'm thinking straight away,
Oh, I know what you're thinking,
and I'm going to say it. That sounds like a Bigfoot.
doesn't it? And I'll add
Huh.
to it because I sent you the picture of my bruise on my lip, right?
Hmm.
Well, there was things hitting the top of the cabins for the whole night. Things were hitting the top of the cabins, and I'm like, okay, it's a little windy out. Acorns or pine cones are falling, hitting the tin roof, ting, ting, ting. And then something flew past Matt, and it rumbled up, and he looked at me, and I just went, okay. And then, a few minutes later, I think Josh had a thing, something fall next to him. Okay,
I went running in between two cabins to towards the noise,
yeah,
and then
and
you were behind me.
yeah, I was behind you. We are trying to figure out what it was, and we saw a rock that was freshly kind of landed there. Like if you go and pick up a rock, you can see the indent in the ground. You can tell it's been there a minute. But this rock, it looks like it just landed. You know, there was the grass was kind of pressed down right before it, and you can see where it rolled. And it was like, okay, maybe it's just our heads, whatever. And then a few minutes again, something whizzed past my head. Just not like real fast, but you just heard the wind kind of, okay. And I was like, I think somebody's throwing rocks at us. And Matt goes, I think so. And Cass is like, I haven't seen anything. And Ashley's like, I haven't. Josh is like, yeah, no, something's been hitting these roofs. I'm just thinking it's, branches or the pine cones or squirrels that are really bad at parkour.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we heard it hit the roof. He ran around the one side, I ran around the other side, and he could probably tell this the best because there were some people inside the cabin too. All they heard was probably, "Oh, son of a bitch!" And they all came running out. And they're like, "What? What?" And Ashley runs up to me. I'm holding my lip, and she goes, "Oh God, you're bleeding." And I had a red mark on this side. I'm trying to remember what side it was because I still have a little bit of a bump there, but it was pure red, a little bit of broken skin bleeding. She goes, we gotta go and get this checked out. I said, I'm fine, it's just a little bit of blood, we're good. I said, something freaking hit me in the face though. And it instantly read up, and I got some pictures, and it it stayed there for at least 2 weeks. I mean, we were doing work, and I think Josh at work was like, "Dang it, that mark is still there." And I said, "Yeah, it didn't tickle."
Yeah. 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 It was like at least a good 2 weeks.
At least a week and a half, 2 weeks. It
Yeah.
was just a pink
I said
mark.
that at least a good 2 times
It's
because I
still
was
there. I said, yeah,
amazed
I'm
at how
surprised I
long it
didn't
was
lose a
there.
tooth on that one.
Uh,
Wow.
at least it wasn't the one rock.
Oh
We
God.
had a rock about the size of a soda can. That it was one
That
of the
was the
loud booms we heard, and
Yeah, that was
and
the
it
one
rolled
where
off the
the
side of the
impression.
cabin.
Yeah, we
Matt,
saw
so
it.
if that hits you, that's killing you. You know what I mean? That
I'm
is,
lights out at least.
yeah, 100%. That is danger. Oh my gosh.
And
But
it,
that is
it
Bigfoot
Instead of oh
activity as
shit, it
well.
would have been a
These things throw rocks. You hear that so
and
often.
and that's what we were thinking. And Matt brought it up for the first time. Like usually he's not the one that brings that stuff up. Usually it's me. Like, oh, BKs. Oh, we think we got a Bigfoot over here. Oh, dog man. Or, I'm the one that's usually. He went. I, Bigfoot's the only thing I'm thinking. He goes, what I've seen. He goes, what's happening? He goes, usually I'm telling you not to do this stuff. He goes, but you should go try one of your tree knocks. I did. Nothing happened.
Ah,
But it was funny that Matt told me to do a tree knock because the last time I did a tree knock, I wound up, hit the tree as hard as I can. The branch broke, came back, whacked Matt in the side of the head 2 days before his wedding. About gave him a black eye.
oh yeah. Oh man. Wow.
You know, he trusted
Man.
me.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Obviously, the Smoky Mountains
shenanigans.
is full of legends and
Oh yeah.
dog men, Bigfoot, all sorts, man. So you've got it all there. That is a cool experience that you've all seen it as well. So Josh, you saw the crossing
Mhm.
as well.
Yep. Yep.
How did it look to you, man? What was you thinking?
That uh, well, I really don't know at the time. I mean, it just kind of just out of the corner of my eye, just something just really tall. That's
Mhm.
about 7, 8 foot, and very large. Is it? Yeah.
Yeah,
So what do you think in moments like that?
yeah, for sure, man. And that is how a lot of
Uh,
these things are seen. Very quick glimpses, but they're obviously bigger than most people, and it stands out. Man, that's wild.
The thing is, like, it wasn't it was quick but wasn't. You think, a lot of people see these things and they're like, usually dashing or they're quickly getting into something else. Like I could have probably counted like one, two, three, four, just watching it.
Yeah.
Like
it wasn't
it
in a
just
rush.
no, it definitely wasn't in a rush. It just kind of walked and it didn't care if you saw it. It it cared because something made a noise over yonder that got all our attention over there. So anytime we got our attention, then it crossed. So it's definitely intelligent. So it's either Bigfoot or Stephen Mundinger playing tricks on us because he knew we were going
Yeah.
paranormal hunting, and he's like, "I'm gonna
What
go throw hockey pucks at them during the night."
what sort of noise was it? Was it like
A bang.
a
Um,
okay.
it on the top side it was a bang, or like like a door slam, almost like the wooden door, and then on the other side it was the wooden door slam. But
Man,
on the
that's
top side, we
interesting.
couldn't figure out what door was slamming on the top side. But it sounded like that wooden door on an old cabin. Boom.
That is very interesting because you hear a lot in a lot of cases, people claim to hear like car doors slamming in the middle of the forest where there should be no cars, and these things can maybe mimic those sounds or make a sound that sounds like a car door or a
Yeah,
door. So that's interesting, man, that you heard that as well.
which mimics are a thing too. So it's like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, a lot of Bigfoot activity is
And
like ghostly activity as well, you
yeah,
know?
it's one big circle. It's just how is it a circle?
Yeah, it all seems to be connected. Man, did you get a look at
yep.
what the colouring of what the we'll say Bigfoot? I mean, it
Uh,
sounds like a Bigfoot.
it smells. Well, I can't say it smells. We didn't smell anything. It sounds like a Bigfoot. Looks like a Bigfoot.
Yeah,
Um, unless Josh has a better description than me, I would say it was just like black baggy clothes almost. Like you didn't see fur or anything, but it's like, wear a big baggy hood up, baggy cargo pants, and walking, which exactly what it could be, just a really tall jackass walking through, freaking us out all night.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that's
But
Yeah.
dangerous in Tennessee, where everyone's got guns and everyone's out there looking for Bigfoot. It's
yeah,
not a smart
Oh yeah.
move. So,
Uh, no.
but
And it was about the same. That's about what I saw was not just a darker color, not really any kind of
you didn't see detail.
discerning features.
Like a lot of people say they see eye shine, even with no flashlights or stuff like that. We didn't see eye shine. I can't tell you what this face looked like. It
mhm.
looked like a person. I mean, bipedal, definitely.
What time was this? What sort of time
Yeah.
was it?
uh, I would say the first time I saw it was 11. Um, I don't know what time we left at like 5 a.m. So we were there for a while. We got there pretty early, and then, or Matt and Kirsten got there early. We had a hockey game. We got there a little bit later, but we still stayed until almost the sunrise.
Man. So was it like
Yeah.
moonlit? Was it like moonlit or was there like
It
street
was
lights?
oddly bright. It wasn't a full
It's-
moon, but close.
yeah,
And
but
then,
then there was times that it would
yes,
just dark out, like it would, and then it would be you could see
you can
almost
see the
at
moon.
least halfway down the street, or halfway through the cabin area, and
Yeah,
then there'd
not
be
see
other
anything at
times
all.
you couldn't see like your hand in front of your face
It got
without a
real dark
flashlight.
and it got real bright, and but you saw the moon like almost the whole time. Like you can see the brightness of the moon through the trees.
Yeah.
It could have been a cloud, but it's still weird. Like we were in the one cabin, and all of a sudden you see this whole the cabin next door through the window. You see it perfect, clear as day, and all of a sudden you're just watching it disappear very slowly. You can still see it's there, but it's like at nighttime, dark time. Can't
Hmm.
you stop losing? But we're not running around with flashlights on constantly. We're trying to get our eyes adjusted so we can walk around in the dark.
Yeah.
So most of the time we're walking around lights out, unless we do hear these noises where it's a possibility of a person. We want to know where you're at. We want to know what your intentions are,
Hmm.
because this is a fun little hobby that we do. We don't want no one to get hurt, slash we don't want to get mugged or jumped.
Hmm. For sure, man. And you guys, you're not out looking for Bigfoot. I mean, you're looking for it, all high strangers, really, but you're normally ghosts,
I
paranormal,
don't
would
say
you
we're
say?
really looking for anything. It's kind of just we go out there and we investigate,
Hmm.
and whatever shows up, we take the information and we try to share it. Hey, we got this really cool picture, and a lot of people will go, "Oh, that's this, da, da, da." I can't tell you what it is. I didn't ask it.
It
I
didn't
mean,
stop and tell me. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, so I wouldn't say we don't look for these things. but we we definitely aren't expecting to see
That's cool though, man.
A,
That
B, or
is,
C
yeah. I mean, I know Tennessee is full of Bigfoot sightings all over Tennessee and the Smoky
it,
Mountains full.
everywhere.
But in that particular area that you was in, has anyone else seen Sasquatch? Do you know? I'm sure they have.
Yes, yes. You've had a one or two on your show. I wouldn't say in that direct area,
Hmm.
very close where you can, grab a rock and throw it. It's very close. I don't, Harley Owens. He
Yes,
was,
yeah, he's a
yes,
cool dude. Yeah, man.
I would say 20 miles from there, 30 miles from there. So
Wow.
not a good distance for us, but
Not for a Bigfoot or a dog man.
no, not something that,
Mm.
runs through.
Wow. Well, I know Harley gets a lot of cool
He does.
pictures, and
He does get a lot of cool
he's
pictures. I
out.
haven't
He's out.
talked to him a bit.
Yeah, he's out a lot, and occasionally he'll send me some cool pictures, and I'm like,
Oh yeah.
whoa. Yeah, man, that's cool. So that is very close, very an area that is.
Yeah.
There seems to be a lot of activity with this sort of stuff.
Oh yeah. And
Oh yeah,
it,
I want to move there. I'm coming, guys. I need to live there.
yeah,
always welcome. Always welcome.
Oh, man.
yeah. You get down here, we'll all go. We'll just
Yeah.
start. We'll
Yeah,
hit
just
up
start
all
going.
the spots. We'll
I'll come and work with you guys. I'll work during the day and then we'll go Bigfoot hunting during the night.
Yeah, there you go.
That would be the dream.
Which
yeah.
that's my favorite part about it. A lot of people will message me, and I got a message the other day. Well, I got a few messages the other day. It was very weird. All of a sudden, I got all these like weird messages. But I got a message, and they're like, "Why do you guys go at night? Do you know if it's haunted during the night? It's haunted during the day?" And I was like, "Yeah, but I mean, it also the nighttime. There's less people around.
Hmm.
You go to these popular places. I mean, we, me and Josh live in the top 5 tourist attraction in the world, number one in our country. So it tends to get pretty packed. And it's wild to me that it's number one. I don't understand how it's number one. Or it used to be number one. Somebody's gonna crucify me at the stake right there. It used to be really high. So
It's
you
still
get
rather
people from
high.
yeah, you get people from all over the globe. So if you go during the day, you're gonna run into tens of thousands of people.
Hmm.
You know, Josh can tell me it takes me an hour to get to work in the morning. It takes me almost 2 hours to get home from work when everyone's awake. So that just tells
Oh,
you how much people is around.
yeah, yeah, for sure. People don't. When you have you lived there all your life? I think you have. Is that right?
I haven't. I think Josh has.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Because
I'm
I've
from more
I've
up
lived in
north.
Seymour my whole life.
yeah, because you sort of take it for granted, I think, when you live in such a beautiful place. Because I moved to quite a nice part of the UK, and I talk to people about like how beautiful it is, and they're like, "Really? No, we don't really see it like that." But it's like it is. It's like beautiful forests and beaches, and they're like, "No, it's just I think you get used to like you take advantage, not advantage, but you when you live somewhere, it's like it just becomes normal. So for someone like me, looking
Yeah.
at where you guys live, I'm like, that's amazing. You've got
Oh yeah.
Bigfoot in your yard, you know? So
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I still get amazed by the views every now and again.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Uh,
I'm
man, yeah.
always at work. I'm always taking a picture. Like it was what 70 degrees the other day, but the mountains were all snow capped. It looked so cool.
It's
oh
amazing.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh
Yep.
man.
I haven't had as much experience with the Bigfoot as I'd like, and I'm definitely
He
hoping
tends
we
to
can.
miss those days.
Yeah, yeah. I tend to miss those days. It usually happens when I'm
He'd
not
be like,
around.
I'm not feeling good. I think I'm gonna stay home today. We get back. Josh, there was a possible Bigfoot.
Dang it! Every time. It can't be when I'm there, except for
Oh,
the last time.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I
man.
got lucky the last time, but
Well, hopefully that's the first of many. But Brooks, when you was, I don't know if it was when you was last on the show. It was when you and Matt was on together, and
Uh,
we was talking about the
the
what did I
bachelor
call
party,
the episode?
the
Yeah, that
Bigfoot
was it.
bachelor party.
That was it. Yes. And
That was
you was
amazing.
having like possible Bigfoot experiences there, but
Yes.
you didn't see one.
No, it was weird. Like I know I talked about it in the other episode, but you heard like big, heavy things in the woods. And this is in a completely different area, like that place that was 10 miles away.
Hmm.
But where there's a stoop outside that it looks like a tree fell over a long time ago. It's kind of smoothing out over time. I'm just sitting kind of near it, and I'm just looking into these woods. And like I said, it's Matt's Bigfoot bachelor party, so he has this bunch of his friends there. We're seeing things up in the woods the other way, but you're hearing a set of footsteps here, a set of footsteps here, a set of footsteps here, a set of footsteps over here, and we're using this Estes method. And I'm talking to a normal spirit we have named Tommy, or Billy,
Great,
Billy, Billy,
great
not
name.
Tommy.
Ah,
I read Tommy call, and I was like, yep, nope, Billy, Billy, and he's answering all of our questions just like normal. And I was like, hey, Billy, what's in the woods? Like, what's in there? And he goes, monster. And I was like, well, we've been over this. You have to tell me what kind of monster. He goes, it's a monster. It's a monster. I said, okay. Is it a dog? No. Is it a person? No. Is it a Bigfoot? Billy, it's the booger. Well, that can go three different ways.
hmm.
Uh, and I said, okay, well, how many boogers are in the woods? 8. Instantly. 8. I said, well, okay, well, I had 3 in front of me. I had these 2 over here. That's 5. And I heard 2 behind me. Where's the 8th one? Over by the truck. Matt had 2 friends sitting in the car, and they wanted to have a cigarette. We don't really smoke in the buildings or anything like that. We try to keep it outside. They were having a cigarette over at their car, and they heard a growl over there. And they come running over. But in the meantime, I was like, okay, well, I said, I'm not here to harm or, thing. This gun on my hip. I said this all in my head. I said, this gun's on my hip is not for whatever is out there. This is for hogs that want to just attack for fun, kill for sport, people, or somebody who wants to do us harm. If you don't want us here right now, give me a growl, throw a rock at me, yell, scream, howl, do something, show me a sign. They heard the growl as I was saying this in my head, and they're running over, and I'm hearing them run over. And Matt was standing right next to me, and he heard this too. It wasn't out of the spirit box. It came from the woods. It said, Brooks, get out, or Brooks, leave. It was leave now. And we went, there's our sign. They're like, something just growled at us. I'm like, there's our second sign.
Yeah, let's
We're
go.
not finding a third one. And
Man, yeah, that was a wild one.
it's a different type of chill when you hear something from the woods where you can't see. Like you could see, and that was another bright night. We tend to go out on bright nights. It's probably not good for our health. But you can see several trees in front of you. But after that first set of trees, you don't really see much.
Yeah,
So it's just
yeah.
darkness. Doesn't matter how bright it is.
Wow.
Really,
Yep.
doesn't matter how bright a flashlight you have either, because
No, it doesn't.
it only gets you so far.
Well, even our light bars. I mean, look at our headlight. I just got these big bright high beams and lights, LEDs on my truck, plus the light bars. They only go so far. Matt has a brighter one. They only go so far.
Hmm. Man, yeah, people need to go back and listen to that episode if they haven't already.
That was a decent one. I like that one.
Bigfoot bachelor party. That
Yeah.
was wild. I can't remember what number it was. I'm terrible with remembering the numbers,
Oh,
but
that was a bit ago. That was almost a year ago. I
yeah,
would
it
say
must have been.
no, yeah,
Ah,
it's a little over a year, or
yeah. I
I would
lose
say a little
track.
over little over a year because he got married and then he had the baby not
Hmm.
too long after that, and the baby's about a year. So.
Yeah. Okay. Oh man,
eh,
cool. So the recent encounter that you had, that was the
mhm.
first time you've seen one.
If you excuse me, I'll let Josh talk about this for a second. It's just have run down the hall
Yeah.
real quick.
No problem, man. Yeah.
Uh, for me, that was kind of my first. That was my first experience actually seeing it.
Hmm.
Any other experiences was kind of noises, hearing stuff around us, trees snapping, Um, but this was the first time I actually been able to see it.
Hmm. That's
Uh,
cool, man.
and not even expecting it, because
Yeah.
we were chasing the ghosts around. They were sitting there. We were going from cabin to cabin. They'd lead us from one to the other, and then back and forth. And then out of nowhere, this just started, and then it the Bigfoot started playing a game with us, leading us from one side of the area or the ghost town to the other, and
Wow.
then
Yeah.
yeah, so it was interesting. It was interesting.
Yeah, for sure, man.
It,
I mean, it's
it was
quite lucky to see one of these things. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that put a lot of time in just researching the Bigfoot, and they might never see one. You know, if they don't want you to
oh
see
yeah,
them, you might not see one ever. A lot of people don't see them, so it's quite lucky that you've seen one, man. It's pretty cool.
oh yeah. It was well it was I don't even I'm still it's still shock.
Yeah, yeah. No, I bet, man. You
uh
see something like that, and it changes. It must change your worldview. I know you hear the stories, and you probably know a lot of people that have seen these things, but until you see something yourself like that, it's probably like it doesn't really hit you until you have that experience, I guess.
oh yeah, yeah. uh I've yeah and I've there's a guy that I'm pretty good friends with that I work with, who's had some real close encounters with Bigfoot around his
Can you
where
tell us?
he was living. Um, he can tell them way better than I can, because he knows the areas really well. He did have an experience. He was staying in a cabin up on Bluff Mountain, which is about it's 20-30 minutes from Sevierville, roughly. Uh, but he was staying in this cabin, and was hearing noises, had stuff thrown in his cabin. It was him and one of his buddies out just kind of smoking cigarettes. They were truck driving at the time, and they were having some home time. So he ended up having this 10-12 foot tall hairy thing walk across the road. It's a dead end road. It kind of ends at like a almost cul-de-sac kind of deal, and he's like plain as day. It just kind of walks over, kind of turns its head at him, and then just walks straight into the woods on the other side, just like nothing's going on. Just and
Wow.
then they continued to hear noises, and then eventually were forced to go inside because it was the items that were being thrown started to get rather large, so they had to
Oh,
retreat. uh, and I believe that in that story, he actually, or when he was telling me about it, he said that was the first time he actually grabbed his rifle just to be prepared, just in case something come through the door. uh, and he's got a bunch. Um, I'll have to talk to him some more. He's a and he goes actually looking. He goes out and tries to go to places that people have seen or had experiences at, and
hmm.
uh,
Wow, man.
and he's really well versed in it, especially in this area.
Yeah. So he kind of sort of had a similar sort of experience to what you
So,
guys had with the rocks being thrown and seeing the creature.
mhm.
Wow, man. Did he say what the face looked like? Did he
Yeah,
mention?
I don't remember. I don't remember if he said exactly if he saw the face or like what the face exactly looked like. Um, he just said that from where he was at, it was probably 30-40 foot away, so
Hmm.
it's rather close. But he he could see hair, and then just massive body, and then it was he said it was a life altering experience, as he likes to put it. And a lot of some of his experiences are a lot of those.
Wow. So it sounds like we need to
uh,
get him on the show as well.
yeah, we'll have to talk to him. We'll have to get him in
Yeah,
here.
man. Yeah, that'd be amazing. Yeah. Thank you. Wow. So Brooks, I see we've been joined by We've got another guest in the background there.
Yeah, she was scratching at the door. This is Lilith.
Nice to meet you, Lilith. Great name.
This is the wife's baby.
Wow. Little beaut, man.
Oh yeah,
So,
she's.
so that the Bigfoot that you saw that night, was that the first time you've seen one?
I would say seen one, yes. Now potentially had an encounter, no. But seen, I would definitely say yes.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, I mean, it sounds like these things are always around, and if they don't want to be seen, they won't be
They're not
seen.
going to be. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just one of those things where they've been hidden for so long. They know how to
Mhm.
they know how to stay camouflaged if they want to. I mean,
Yeah.
we find different new animals every day. I mean, we're finding animals that are supposed to be extinct for hundreds and thousands of years. I mean, I'm not saying that they're not real. I'm not saying they are real.
Hmm.
It's
Did
a good chance.
Did seeing one change your opinion though? Like when you actually saw.
I've always been a believer, but I mean, it's one of those things where, you do all this investigations and everything, and that's one of those moments where you're like, okay, this is validated. There is stuff to the unknown. There is stuff out there that's not supposed to exist.
Hmm. Hmm. For
I
sure, man.
mean, it,
Yeah.
you get some validation and almost like a reward. Hey, this is a reward for keeping up and doing what you're doing. You're doing decent work. I'm
Hmm.
not gonna say you're doing good work because that's too much credit for me. But uh, you've been coming around for what, 3 4 years now at the same spots, 3 4 years. I am used to you guys at this point. You can't
Hmm.
tell me this is the first time it's seen us.
Hmm.
We used to go, what, Josh? We used to go twice a week at one point.
Hmm. Yeah.
It,
Yeah,
it,
it was at least once every week. It was we're always in one of the locations every
if not
week.
both.
Hmm.
Yeah, if not both.
Yeah. I was saying to Josh
Uh,
how rare it is to see these creatures. Like
It,
you get
yeah,
investigators that spend their life dedicating their life to this, and they
and
might
they
not see
never.
one. They might not
Yeah,
see one. You know. So it's pretty
I
cool,
mean,
man.
it is, and it's a scary feeling too. Um, Not saying that I was. I made that my whole thing. So I was like, oh wow, we saw one. Wow, that's so great. Everyone should see one. It yes. Um, there is a scary factor of it because if they're real, what else is? Also, something that big, what can it do? I've heard the stories of what they can do, but until I see it, you know,
Hmm.
what can it do? I know what a deer can do. I know what a bear can do. I deal with bears every day.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
They're always on top.
yeah,
You sent me a video of the bear in your garden the other day, and I was like, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, they come up to. They're always on top of my roller coaster. They're always coming into my garage. They're
Yeah.
always trying to come up and say hi to me, and I'm just like, go away.
Yeah.
Go sleep in your corner and leave me alone. And
That's
that's the
so
best
cool, though,
part. I
man.
said, I know what a bear is. If anyone knows what a bear is, the place we work at, if you work there, you know what a bear is.
Mhm. Mhm.
I mean, we have our own code for it because
Yeah.
they shut down the park for half the day.
Have there been any like near misses with the bears?
I mean, with my roller coaster, it's self-propelled, so you have to push the handle forward to stop, you pull it back. So I
Yeah.
mean, a bear has been hit by a coaster, yes, but I mean, it's one of those things where it hurt the cart more than the bear.
Yeah. 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 Have people ever been attacked? Like, not that I want to put people off going, but do bears ever attack people?
No, I would say where we have no. Now, do they get a little bit of like, all right, that's close enough?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
they'll give you that warning, but attack, no.
Hmm. That's cool, man. Does it make
yeah,
you?
and
Wait, sorry, Josh.
uh, and then just there's a certain time of the year that the mama bears are ones that you would definitely want to stay away from.
Yes.
especially when the cubs are involved, because it doesn't matter how far away you are. If you're
Yeah.
close, if she thinks you're too close,
She'll let
then
you know.
you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's when
And
they're most dangerous. Is that right?
I,
yeah,
yeah. I
yeah,
always say,
and mainly the females.
yes. I always tell our operators because we're the mechanics of the ride, and it's that stereotype of, oh, those are the maintenance guys. They're the scary, rugged. They don't care. They don't have no censorship. They're not afraid of nothing. So if you see us running, be faster than us. There was an instance where we had a bear in a tree, and we don't throw rocks at the bears. We kind of throw them near them, kind of just like, hey, get off. We don't want you to get hit by a cart. We don't want a person to get hurt. So they were kind of tossing rocks kind of up in the air, just at the tree. It was hitting the other tree, but it was scaring it down. And it slid down the tree. It slid down like a fireman pole at at my boss and my coworker, and just started taking off towards them, and they just gone. They came around the corner, and our operator looked over and was just like, zoom, gone. You see us running, go.
Oh
Because they're the
man.
one, we're usually the ones that are called like, hey, there's a bear over here, kid. All right, we'll go and get it. And we usually know its name, and we're just like, come on, get out of here,
Yeah.
Herc. Get out of
Oh
here.
wow. Yeah. Man, because they're quick as well when they want to be, right?
When they
They
want to be.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
they look slow and fat, but at a matter of time, they'll outrun you by two times.
Yeah.
yeah. They like to be rather lazy though, for the
Oh
most
yeah.
part.
Hmm.
Yeah, if they don't
Wow,
want to be
man.
bothered, and
Man,
for something that's like what me and Josh, we're at that park every day, almost every day, I would say. So that we see the same bear sees us. Half the time, it's just like, oh, it's you guys, whatever, and it doesn't care. I have that video of it in my shop, just laying down next to us because it just doesn't care, and I was like, as long as it doesn't bother me, I don't care.
Yeah. That's cool, man. Yeah. Wow. I'm coming over, guys. 100%.
Just don't feed them because then they come back, and then when you don't feed them is when I would say that's the most dangerous. It's not
Hmm.
when mom. Everyone knows don't mess with mama bear. That's a big saying.
Hmm.
Don't feed a bear and then stop feeding it. Don't feed the bear in general, because if you ever don't feed it, that's when it's gonna get angry. It doesn't matter what the gender is. Doesn't matter if it has kids or not.
yeah,
Wow.
It wants those treats that you gave, and that's a big problem that we have, especially with these people who are only here for a few days. Yeah, you saw a bear,
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to feed it. Don't do that, because then the next person comes up, and then that bear gets aggressive with them because those people were smarter and didn't feed it.
Yeah. And trying to get
yeah,
selfies with them. Trying to get selfies.
Oh
That
God.
must be a problem as well. And I'm probably being a hypocrite because if I was there, I probably would try, which is I know
But
not the smartest thing.
you can get somewhat close to them. And that's the thing. You can get somewhat close.
Yeah.
I, they tell you 30 yards. I say you can get up to 10 yards and you'd be okay. You I don't recommend it, but you'd be okay.
Hmm.
The
maybe.
problem is the problem is we get this question a lot. I've worked in the area for 5 years now. He's been here all of his life. When do they let the bears out? What do you mean that when does the park let the bears out? What do you mean? Oh, they're trained animals. No, they're wild. Oh, they wouldn't put wild animals where people are. No, they put people where wild animals are. When did they turn the smoke on in the Smoky Mountains? Like, people
Oh
think that's a
man.
joke. That's a real thing. And then
No, people. Oh
yes,
my.
that's the three top common. When do they let the bears out? Will the bears take selfies with me? Can I get the Christmas card? And then when the
Oh,
turn smoke on, the bear's out, and uh, what's the other one? I haven't heard it in a while.
There's a bunch actually.
There's a bunch, but they're so stupid, and you start to have fun with them at the point. Like, they're like, when do they turn the smoke on the mountains? And I'm sitting there going, the maintenance team is on their way to Spirit Halloween as we speak. But I got a little Native American boy up there. He's dancing his heart out to get it to rain. We'll get the smoke going one way or another. I promise you,
that's
just for
incredible.
you.
I've
That's
I've been
amazing.
I've been doing like our just monthly inspections, climbing towers, and I've got people just passing me by on chairs, and they're, oh, have you seen any bears today? I was like, no, no, it's oh, well, as I drop everything here, oh, it's you got about 30 minutes until they let them out. You know, you'll see them on your way down. You
Oh,
know,
you're the problem. You're why they're asking me. I've worked in 5 different places over here, and every place they ask me, when do they
That's
let the
wild,
bears out?
man.
Yep.
That's wild.
When
The
does the
smoke,
park open?
the smoke as well. I can't get my head around that. When do they turn the smoke on?
When did they turn the smoke on?
That's
Because
incredible.
believe it or not, weather sometimes is weathers, and sometimes the smoke isn't a thing.
Yeah, yeah. The Smoky Mountains are not always smoky.
The majority of the
A
time they
lot of the
are.
time they are. Yeah,
Yeah, the majority they are. But there's that one weird Thursday where it's just like, wow, it's
yeah,
clear. You could see.
yeah.
Yep.
Wow, that's cool, man. Brooks, do you want to share that other experience that you had in your house that you sent over as well?
Oh, that was fun.
Oh,
Uh, yeah, this one was fun. Like I just got home from work. I think I just got off the phone with Josh. Usually we talk on the way home because we have such far drives, and we're just talking, complaining about our day. Talking about people we dealt with and whatnot. And get home, and I usually have my gun with me. Put my gun. For some reason I threw it on the bed this time. Usually I kind of go put it up where it's supposed to be. I threw it on the bed, and I started getting ready for my shower because I don't know, I got grease, I got dirt on me, whatever, mechanic, whatever. You know, took my clothes off, and I go back out to grab a soda, and walk past my bed closet. Yeah, hey there! Just clear as day. My dog goes berserk. My 90-pound pit bull goes berserk. He's going up against the door. I grab the gun that I don't know why I threw there. Grabbed the gun, hammered it back, and I aimed it at the door, and I'm butt ass naked. My dog's going at it, and I'm like, who the hell is in my house? I'm saying a lot of other words. Who the hell's in the house? Who, like, what's going on? Uh, like, who are you? Uh, nothing, nothing. And I said, I'm telling you, if I have to put two through the door, I will. Like, I will shoot first, ask questions later. And I said, I'm sending the dog in, and the dog's not happy. No, I said, I'm not actually going to shoot because the bullets I have in my gun would go through my house into the neighbor's house. I can't do that. So I grabbed the handle of the door, turned it, I kicked it, and Finn, my 90-pound pit bull, ran through, jumped like he went to go at somebody's neck, but there was no one there. And he got scared and like flopped because there was no one there. Like he was full on ready to hit something or somebody. And he kind of flopped like a fish, landed on the ground. It was like, what's going on? I had the gun. I'm just like, what the fuck going on? I'm clearing the rest of the house because I'm like, maybe it wasn't in the closet because the closet's here. Then right on the other side of the closet is another closet slash my garage is over on the other half. So now I'm clearing the house, butt ass naked. I'm going through, dog's with me, and I was like, what fuck's going on? I unload the gun, cool. I close the closet door because the cats like to go in there. Sometimes they're a little spiteful if I didn't pay them enough attention, so I don't want them to pee on my clothes. Um, and my dog is looking at the closet. He's turning his head. He's doing that pit bull like head tilt.
Hmm. Hmm.
He's still confused, and every once in a while he's letting out a growl. He's like he's just growling, and he's the nicest dog in the world. He's abused. I'm a third owner. He's very attached to my hip.
Hmm.
And the only time I've ever seen him is when somebody broke into my camper and he ripped that guy's arm off. Like I came home and the window was broken. There was blood all over my camper. There was puddle of blood there, puddle of blood coming out. It looked like a horror movie. I thought my dog was dead because of the amount of blood. Because they told me my dog tried to escape my camper, but we got it tested. Turns out the neighbor broke into my house to try to shut my dog up because
Oh
he was barking.
man, no
Yeah,
way.
but that's a whole different story. But my dog is very
Whoa.
protective of the house. So sweet dog until you come in forcefully somewhere. So
Yeah,
like I
of
said, I opened that
course.
door, he went for it. My wife came home, she saged the house. I was just like, no, don't sage it. Let's see what else happens. We're already here. Let's see what else happens. And she just went around saged anyway.
She's
She
like,
don't listen
no.
to me.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
she won't let me have my haunted doll either.
Yeah. I
So
don't blame her.
I, my friend gave me three of them, and I have three of them, and they're probably going to go to Matt's house because he said he would take them. But I was
Yeah.
like, I have
Oh,
three of them, but she
man.
won't let me keep them here.
Yeah, I don't blame her, to be honest. But,
I'll get
but,
somebody to agree with me. I'll get that 1 point on my side.
do you think it's possible your dog saw something at the door when you first
I
opened it?
I don't think he saw anything. I just think you know, he definitely heard a person. He knows how tall I am. He's seen other people. He kind of just lunged up and he knows the general area where a neck might be.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm not messing with that dog, bro.
He's fine. He has dull teeth. Don't tell anybody that.
Oh
I'm
man.
starting to think Matt just rescued a dog. That was he was a bait dog, and I'm starting to wonder if my dog was because he has the shaved down dull
Hmm.
teeth and everything too. So I was like, yeah, he has dull teeth,
Yeah.
and he has scars all over his body. And
Oh
but
man.
yeah,
Yeah. Wow. So what do you think that was? What is your?
I
Because
don't know.
you called it on video. You got the actual you heard it on the video, right?
No, that was the Ring camera that my wife was walking through.
Oh, okay.
That was like 2 years ago. She sent me that. She thought she heard something. She went back with the Ring camera and she heard whispering, which is on our TikTok, and I can send that again.
Yeah, man.
But
Yeah.
she took the garbage out and came in and she heard hello or something on the Ring camera. It was like a whisper, and then she closed the door, locked it, you hear it lock, and then there was another something in there,
Yeah.
and we still can't figure
And
out.
you caught that one. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Oh.
every once in a while something will happen here, which this is I'm bougie. I live in a development. It's a brand new development. Um so the place is definitely not haunted. Now the grounds I can't say, but the
Hmm.
house itself, there's no way. I'm the second owner and the first owner is still alive.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah.
So
But as you
like
say, you don't know what was there before, the land that
yeah,
it's
the
built
on
on.
the grounds, yes,
Yeah.
in this area, big Civil War area. There's a Civil War cemetery that we've went to right across the street, not across the street, but like a few blocks away.
Hmm.
Um, so there's a
That's
lot in this area. Go ahead, Josh.
that's the one that that's the one that I made the
Oh
ghost
yeah,
mad at
yeah. We
me.
we can't go back there anymore. Yeah,
I made him mad at
Josh
me. He stopped talking.
and Josh went to this Civil War. We were getting okay activity, and he asked that, "Well, are you a Confederate or was it you Confederate or you Union?" And
Yeah, I
and
think
then
so.
it
Yeah.
just it got, and I was like, "Did you just ask in the South what side he fought for?"
Well, there were some that were Union. I mean, it's a thing. You never know.
But as soon as he asked that, we haven't heard a peep
Oh
since.
no.
A peep since. They won't
Yeah.
Oh.
talk to us. Somebody made them
We
mad.
we need to go back there again. It's
They
been a
won't
while.
talk to us.
Maybe
So why?
I mean maybe we get lucky. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we do have to go back over there. But for this house, like, there's a few nights where my wife used to work overnights at the hospital. I'm not doing anything the next day, so I'm usually up watching a TV show or playing a video game. And I was like, "Ah, I forget what I was watching. I was watching something on YouTube. I think I was actually watching Nuke's Top 5 on YouTube. And I'm just sitting back and we're watching, and I got my cat Luna on me, and my other cat Bugs is at my feet. They're just laying down and chilling with me. And I heard something on the window, just knock on the window, and it startled me. My dog is behind me. He kind of like freaked out. Luna scratched the crap out of me. She hit the ceiling. Bugs gets scared if I sneeze. So I mean, he's gone no matter what. But it I wasn't the only one that heard it. My wife thinks, you were watching a paranormal show, maybe you're high. I'm like, yeah, you could be right. But I said the fact that all the animals reacted to it too.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I went out there. I had my knife. I had my gun. Here I go again. I wasn't naked this
It
time,
wasn't.
thankfully. Yeah. So went around the house. The dog went with me, right at my hip. No one out there. Cool. Um, that was that. Every once in a while, I feel like I hear the door knock, but there's no one there. But that's I won't chalk that up to anything.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting, man. Interesting stuff, guys. So when are you next out? What's the next
I'm hoping
adventure?
Josh is trying to been trying to commit. Well, he doesn't have to convince me. This is the place I've been wanting to go to forever. But he's been trying to light that gasoline. I've been spilling. We want to do Waverly Hills here shortly.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little costly, but if we get enough people, then it's nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
But we
Awesome
want to do
stuff.
Waverly Hills
Yeah.
Sanatorium. That's something that I've been wanting to do for a while. Then that and Penhurst, but I used to live near Penhurst for most of my life, so the fact that I've never seen it before kind of kills me.
Man.
Yeah. I've always wanted to. The Waverly is a big one on my list. So,
Hmm.
Yes.
and I've got a pretty extensive list of places that I'd like to see, or at least attempt to try to go to. So
Yeah, man.
that would be one of them off the list.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome stuff, guys. It's very exciting, and I'm sure you're going to get a lot of activity because you do seem to get a lot of stuff going on, man. And it's very interesting.
It's interesting. There's one little tidbit I would like to add
Hmm.
if we have the time.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah.
um, Josh will remember this, but Matt always likes to say he thinks he brings the calmness, which I don't know where he gets that from. Every time he's around, I get thrown across the room or rocks thrown at me and stuff like that.
Scratched and
But
yeah.
I get what he's trying to say is because there are times where Matt can't make it out. Like tonight, he couldn't be on the show, unfortunately. But me and Josh are like, we're big boys, we're brave, we could go do it, and we're gonna go to the scary place and do it ourselves. And we go out there, and things go crazy, and we usually pack up really quickly and leave.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
sometimes
Well,
depends
we
on
went to
how
that.
crazy it gets.
Yeah, the first one made my spine shrivel. But we went over to the schoolhouse and we heard crying in the attic and we heard like somebody in the woods and it sounded like they're having a conversation and walking towards us, which I'm thinking hike. I'm thinking a hiker. So we're like, okay, cool. But then things are starting to like my equipment's starting to go off. The EMF's going off. The motion sensors are going off, and this is what I'm here for, but it doesn't feel great. He wasn't feeling good. I wasn't feeling great. It's time to get in the truck and go. So, we got in the truck, we kind of took up, and I was like, you know what? No, this is kind of what we're here for. We're gonna go back. So we U-turned it back up, we came back up the hill, we went in, pulled into the it's a weird windy dirt road going up there. Weird windy dirt road, one lane. If another car comes down on top of you from being there, somebody has to back up because it's a sheer cliff on one side and a cliff side on the other side. So there is no getting around. But we pulled up, hit the U-turn. We're seeing the schoolhouse, and the front door slammed shut. So I U-turned it back around, and we came back up,
I
and then we
think that
left.
was the same. I think that was the same night that we were leaving for the
I know what
last
you're talking
time,
about. It wasn't.
and it wasn't that. Oh,
That was the first time you and me went alone. I know what you're talking about. I was going to bring that up though, but
oh yeah, yeah.
because that was when we took two separate cars, and Matt and Kirsten went with us, and they left ahead of us.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yep.
So leaving this place, we're always seeing things in the corner of our eyes, and you can't look at them because, like I said, you take your eyes off the road. There's a good chance you're going to veer off, and we're going down. We're going to a tow truck. But we're seeing our shadows that we're normally seeing just the corner of our eyes. They're gone by the time you look at them. Eyes playing tricks on you, most likely. But we get in the car, they're in front of us, and I was like, you know what? Turn the radio all the way off, and we rolled down the windows, and I kept mine about, I would say, eye level with mine, and I kept Josh's about the same. He's in my truck, and we're driving nice and just idling, 2 miles an hour up across the surround, going down, and I hit the brake, and as I hit the brake, a rock or something, I don't know what it was, something big, not big because it didn't shatter my glass, but
Mhm.
it hit right where Josh's head was,
Yeah,
like right at the tip of the glass.
I thought I was hit.
Oh
It was right
man.
there.
But
It was right behind my ear. I thought I
yeah,
was hit. I was like, I'm done.
yeah.
I'm
Which
out.
the whole part of it, that part wasn't scary. It was the noise, the loudness, and all of it, like, because it's just quiet, 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 and all of a sudden,
Yeah.
it hit the glass. And I gassed my truck. We fishtailed a little bit. We came out. We're sideways going around all these corners. We hit the main road, and Matt's at the end of the road. And he's like, "Where did you guys go?" When we went, "Oh, we U-turned it back up to get some more footage." So we came, we left and we came back and we left again. And as we left, a rock hit the window. And he said that he was doing the same thing and he was hearing something on the right side, which is the side that Josh was on, the right side of the car. So,
What do you think it was? What do you think threw it, or did something throw it?
well, that was the same time as the BEKs, and that was the location. That was the place where I've had the boogers in the woods.
Hmm.
So, that was also the place where I think episode one I've been on, like where the guy said there was a big dog in the woods, or the guy, the
Yes.
spirit. So it's like,
Yes.
Oh yeah.
okay, take your pick.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
What
So that,
throws rocks?
so that could have been a Bigfoot, and it could
Yeah.
have been, yeah.
And it could have been just an angry hiker, because the AT trail is near-ish there.
Hmm.
Not doesn't go through that location specifically, but it's near there. So there's always people in the woods, but not you don't see them ever.
Yeah. But even that's quite freaky, people in the woods that are like
Oh yeah, and most of the
angry.
time they don't hike during the night. You don't hike in the night. We do, but you don't
Yeah.
hike in the night in the Smoky Mountains or Appalachia.
Hmm. Hmm.
You just don't do it.
Are you
No
not?
one
Are you
does
not
that.
allowed to? Are you not
No,
meant to?
you could do whatever you want. It's you don't do it.
Yeah, it's not a smart move. Yeah.
It's
There's a
yeah.
lot of
It's
lore and
not
there's
a
a
it's
lot of
not a
things.
very wise decision.
It's like,
Hmm.
you heard that? No, you didn't. You didn't hear anything.
Yeah.
You didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Keep walking.
Because it's like a lot of the national parks in the US. I believe there's like a 9:30 curfew for some of them. Is that right?
Most of them, yes. I know. I think it's called Devil's Ridge or something like that. Yeah, I think it's in Utah. I think they just put in their curfew at 10. They're shutting down their. But this one, they have locations that they close off during certain times. Like Kate's
Hmm.
Cove is closed at night unless you have special permission to get into there.
Hmm.
But they'll close the gates off and you can't go into those locations. But the park itself, no.
Yeah. You probably wouldn't be able to stop people. It's so big. You ain't gonna be able to stop
They
people.
did for a little bit with the hurricane that hit us.
Hmm.
There was a lot of highways that the highway was washed into the river kind of over near us. So a lot of truckers were using the pass to get to North Carolina, which they were all crashing and everything, and they couldn't make it through. So because you can't take a semi truck on these roads.
Hmm. Hmm. Man, man, is there anything else that's happened
Yep.
recently? What else has happened,
Uh,
man?
I don't know, Josh, you got anything to add? I think we've
Uh,
basically touched up on.
I mean, it's quite a lot. I mean, it's pretty
It's a
pretty
lot,
cool.
and the funny thing is, like, most of what we talked was about that at the ghost town, which was one night, which, yes, we were there for 10, 12 hours almost, so from sunset to sunrise, but that was all basically just one investigation, and we went out a couple times before that and had nothing.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
Well,
yeah.
that's what people have got to remember
Yeah.
when they listen, that you guys, you're out a lot and you
Yeah.
put in a lot of hours, and you might have weekends where nothing happens.
Yeah.
But
What was it, Josh? We went 2 months, I would say 6 investigations, and not a peep, nothing on the spirit box, not a EMF blip, not a motion sensor blip, nothing,
mhm,
nothing.
Yeah, it
We
was
spent most of those
just
nights just sitting
dry.
on the tailgate of the truck and just hoping something would happen, talking,
yeah,
because just nothing would happen.
mhm. That's interesting though,
Yeah,
man.
And then all of a
and
sudden,
it was
you
kind
give it
of
a,
Yeah,
you just give it a little bit, and then you keep going, and you have a night like we did, and
yeah,
then I guarantee you go tonight, nothing will happen, not a single thing. Those guys on Tommy's show were crazy. They were stupid. Those didn't happen. They all made it up. Losers.
but those nights that when you do get a big experience, that's like that's why we do it, and that's why you
Yeah,
keep going, man. Yeah,
yeah. And
oh
like I
yeah,
said, if you're in the area or you're visiting the area of the Gatlinburg Pigeon Forge area, find us on Facebook and you want to go out. Most
mhm,
of the time we go out during on the weekends. Come on out. We would love to take you out. Like
yeah,
we don't charge or anything. You want to experience it. We're always looking for fresh faces and seeing how spirits react to people that aren't normally with us.
mhm,
Josh goes with us a lot. They're used to him now. uh Matt's partner
and
Justin, he goes. I mean, they know him now. They don't react. Usually when we bring somebody new, we get a reaction for at least a little bit.
mhm, mhm.
But if they're used to you,
Interesting.
sometimes it's 50-50. Like they're either happy to see you or just get out of my house, please.
Yeah, yeah,
leave
man.
us alone.
Well, I want to come over. That's for sure. I want to come
Oh
over
yeah.
and come out with you guys. That would be amazing. Guys, thank you so much for
Yeah.
coming back, sharing that incredible experience. I mean, it's all been cool what you've shared tonight, and thank you very much. Can you tell the listeners where they can find you guys?
The Smokies Unforgotten Spirits on all platforms: X, Facebook, I almost said X, Facebook, and Twitter. X, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Uh, I'm really bad at posting. I'm the only one that usually does it, so I'm really bad at it. But most of our stuff is on Facebook/TikTok.
Awesome, man. Well, gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure. Josh, lovely to meet you, man. Hopefully, this is the first of many
It's nice meeting you.
conversations. We'll have to get your friend on as well
Yeah.
that saw the Bigfoot as well, man, because that would be cool. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, thank you so much, guys. Keep up the great work. Stay safe. I know you put yourselves in some dangerous situations, so stay safe. But keep up
Uh,
the great work, guys.
yeah. Will do.
Thank you, Tommy. It was fun.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you have, make sure you share it where you can. That is a great way to support us. Keep an eye out for Bigfoot because we love hearing the Bigfoot encounters, man. Keep them coming, guys. Stay safe and keep it freaky. Bye for now. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, gentlemen.